is striving for and so forth. What it all amounts to is a variety of stories that discuss distinct qualities of the world. And the richest experience you get is from layering all those stories on top of one another so you can see the biggest possible narrative of all. Now, if these kind of psychoactive substances can give you new stories that you wouldn't have access to through the traditional means, the academic means of, say, of science, or through the philosophical means or artistic forays, if these psychoactive substances can bring in a new narrative, how wonderful could that be for all of us to be able to layer an additional story or multiple stories upon our understanding of the world?
Well, you know who had that belief? Carl Sagan.
Is that true?
Carl Sagan was a giant fan of marijuana.
I did know that, but I've never seen any quotes where he's actually speaking about the experience. So.
Yeah, see if you can find Carl Sagan on marijuana, because he had a direct quote that was very similar to what you were just saying.
Really?
That he believes there's certain thoughts that you achieve and states that you achieve on marijuana that are impossible to get to without it.
I see.
Paraphrasing.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's the basic idea.
He was a heavy-duty pot. As you can imagine, someone who's fucking staring at space all the time, like, man, this is crazy.
Well, not everybody does, but
he's in it from a different time where, you know, I mean, he's traveling in all these circles with all these like musicians and, you know, artists and all these different people, because he was not just an astronomer, he was also like a Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah, statesman of science.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Someone
sure.
who's promoting it in a way.
Yeah.
And he did a brilliant job of doing that, obviously.
No, totally. I mean, I was inspired by him. I mean, Neil obviously was. I was inspired by him, too, as a kid. You know, this idea of the wonder and the majesty of the cosmos as opposed to just sort of, you know, the test that you had to take in third grade on, you know, something that you're meant to memorize.
Also, his elegant use of the language to describe it in a way that was so inspiring and it was so moving, the way he would describe the cosmos. Here it is. The cannabis experience has greatly improved my appreciation for art, a subject which I had never much appreciated before. The understanding of the intent of the artist, which I can achieve when high, sometimes carries over to when I'm down. I guess that's what they would call it back then, when I'm down. This is one of the many human frontiers which cannabis has helped me traverse. A very similar improvement in my appreciation of music has occurred with cannabis. For the first time, I've been able to hear the separate parts of a three-part harmony and the richness of the counterpoint. I have since discovered that professional musicians can quite easily keep many separate parts going simultaneously in their heads, but this was the first time for me. He also thought it dramatically helped improve his sex life, as he analytically explains here. Cannabis also enhances the enjoyment of sex. On the one hand, it gives an exquisite sensitivity. The actual duration of orgasm seems to lengthen greatly, but this may be the usual experience of time expansion, which comes from cannabis smoking. And lastly, he argues for outright legalization in light of these benefits. The illegality of cannabis is outrageous, an impediment to full utilization of a drug which helps produce the serenity and insight, sensitivity and fellowship so desperately needed in this increasingly mad and dangerous world. This is only one of many quotes that he's had on cannabis, because this is not... Scroll up to the top of that.
He had a whole essay on it.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, so that was... oh, he had a book called Marijuana Reconsidered.
He did?
An essay.
Oh, no, for a book
an essay
he wrote
in a book.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was someone else's book.
I mean,
hold on, scroll back up. He called himself Mr. X. Oh, he wrote under a pseudonym. Interesting. Huh.
I mean, I agree with the conclusion about legalization. I'm not sure the argument there is the strongest one.
What argument?
Well, I don't know if Carl Sagan's sex life and his ability to hear art and music is the best argument for legalizing marijuana.
No, it's not the best argument, but it is an argument for
absolutely,
for not just the use, but the enhancement of life through it.
Yeah, you know, but the other argument is it's something that we can control as a society as opposed to eliminate. Yeah. And if there is an option of that sort in general, that's the right way to go.
Well, the war on drugs has been lost.
Thankfully.
Yeah,
part of it, I should say. Part of it,
well,
part of it was misguided.
Right.
It was a misguided war.
Yeah. I mean,
in fact, I think New York just legalized, if I'm not mistaken. And I don't. I was wondering, is that retroactive? I mean, somebody who
It should be.
Yeah, but is it?
Yeah, no, it's not. There's a lot of people that are in jail for the rest of their lives for trafficking marijuana, which is incredible.
Yeah.
You know, and it should look. It's just a plant, folks, and it's not toxic and doesn't kill anybody, and it's not even addictive. In very rare cases, there seems to be some people that purport some physical addiction to cannabis, but there's no real mechanism for it that's widely understood, like the mechanism for benzodiazepines being addictive or alcohol, whereas you get off of them, there's actually a real possibility you could die from withdrawal. There's nothing like that with marijuana. The addiction seems to be mostly psychological, but again, the biological variability of people, like some people have weird reactions to stuff, and some people may become actually physically addicted to marijuana, but it's super rare.
Yeah.
And way more rare than a lot of things that we can buy readily everywhere all the time, whether it's cigarettes or prescription drugs.
No, I mean, cigarettes are a great example.
Yeah.
You know, it just doesn't make any sense. And I think now 12, 13 states, it's legal for not mistaken. So
look, I'm an enthusiast. I love the stuff.
It's heading in the right direction.
I
don't. I mean, I haven't in so long.
Well, then maybe that's the problem, bro. Maybe we should spark one up.
We should go to New York now.
We should have a trip.
It's legal in New York now?
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, but you got to fucking have a vaccine passport to go anywhere now.
Oh.
They're doing weird shit in New York. That Mario Cuomo guy, or Andrew Cuomo, his son, that guy, Jesus Christ.